Oh, what's up, Internet? It's that time once again. It's time for Brothering Around. This is episode 30-something. Like 36-ish?
36 and a half, I guess, maybe?
30, yeah.
36 and 3/4.
36 and 3/4. It's a new Naked Gun sequel.
It is.
That's what we're here doing. It's a new Brothering Around. Hope you guys are having fun. I'm Wes Gardner, Mr. Comedy Hobo. Over there, we got the one, the only, the true good brother, Marco Flores.
Right now, I'm wearing both earbuds in my ears, so I'm doing something illegal.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. You're breaking the law, big fella.
I'm breaking the law. Apparently.
Who made you like this? Who made you like
fella?
Oh, and we got the one, the only, Mr. Todd, EVF.
What's going on?
And the ever-perfect Moriartea time.
Hello.
It's a new week, gang. Yeah, it's a new week. 30. This is 35. Okay, it's official. 35. We got the guy on the side, the guy that was taking all the points for the Conor McGregor fight. He's jotting it down. It's episode 35. See, here's the thing. Before we get into Marco being a lawless renegade, just living by his own rules. He's in the 80s movie that we made up on the Forgotten episode.
Yes.
So Samurai Cop pulled me over.
That's right. Joanne, no. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather. Is it a work? Yes or no?
Gosh.
Yeah, I think it was.
On the spot.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, totally. It was there to get Conor over as a boxer. Mm-hmm. So now MMA looks better. So now like they all had that kind of backstage handshake agreement. Like, all right, make Conor look better than what he really is, because you could knock him out in about 12 seconds. But let him do some stuff. Let him get some stuff in. Let him get his moves in. Because you could tell whenever Floyd Mayweather like turned it on, around 9.5.
Yeah,
and then Conor just started melting. Like his whole body stopped responding to things. He's like, and he like,
yeah.
I mean that ref, God bless, man, because he was in a rodeo. He was like, Conor, stop bear hugging Floyd Mayweather.
Stop hammer punching him,
please.
And then eventually he turns on Floyd Mayweather. He's like, dude, stop turning around.
He's like, why are you accepting this? Oh, that whole, and yeah, here's the thing. It was entertaining. It was entertaining enough to be kind of suspicious, because it shouldn't have gone that smoothly. And here's the deal. Apparently, I didn't know this. Someone filled me in on this. Apparently, the major Vegas odds said that the finish was going to happen before the 9.5 round mark.
Okay.
So the fact that it went to 10 rounds.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a lesson for all the kids out there. You're never going to meet a part-time bookie. They are full-time. They get that money. They know exactly how to get that money. You will never meet a part-time bookie. So
yeah, just like how people that bet on WWE shows, like
that's scripted shit. It's like,
but then again, they can switch it up too.
That's true. But see what's great? Can you imagine like betting on what's going to happen on like Bold and the Beautiful?
Yeah,
because it's sort of the same thing, right? It's like,
yeah.
I bet what's his face is going to.
But no, I bet this person returned.
Oh, but he's going to come out of his coma, and because there's always someone on a soap opera that has a coma,
and he performed brain surgery on himself.
Right? His doppelganger.
Yeah. The evil twin.
The evil twin did brain surgery.
But it's a dog.
Oh my god. It gets so much deeper than we could possibly imagine.
Right.
But yeah, fun stuff. But okay, so the elephant in the room as our first main topic is Marco is a lawless gerrymanderer who...
Let's get this out of the way.
He drives into your town. Let me tell you about Marco Flores. He's going to drive into your town right? He's gonna go into the diner after it's closed, right? He's gonna put a cigarette out on the table. He's not even gonna use the ashtray. He's just gonna put it out on the table. Fling the leather jacket behind his back.
Oh my goodness.
So explain to us what happened. What happened for you to almost get thrown in prison?
So it's been a kind of an eventful 48 hours. Before that, I thought, well, at least this morning, I thought I dislocated my shoulder from Muay Thai class, but that's beyond that. I was driving home from work, right? Home from work today, and I was an exit away. I was like an overpass away from my exit. All of a sudden, the CHP, California Highway Patrol, comes behind me and starts flashing their lights. I'm like, are they trying to get somebody? Because I don't see who they're trying to get, and they're behind me. So and then they start, blaring the sirens. It's like, what the heck? What did I do? So like, I get pulled over. I pull over to the side, and the guy's like, do you know why I pulled you over? I was like, I literally don't know why you pulled me over. I didn't speed. I didn't, tailgate anybody. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
He said, you're wearing your headphones on both ears. I was like, say what?
I can't hear you. Yeah. Let me take out these headphones.
You're wearing the damn headphones. But you're wearing your headphones on both ears. You're not supposed to do that. I was like, really? You can. So I asked, like, wait, so you can't wear headphones at all then? It's like, no, you can, but you're supposed to have one ear free, in case of like emergencies or sirens. And I'm thinking in my head, like, dude, I'm only listening to, I was literally listening to episode 34, heading home. Right? So it's not like
those bastards are brothering around.
Brother bag over here is getting pulled over here. So yeah, like I find that out. This is news to me. I guess this is a thing in California that was made official like this year. You can't wear both headphones. One ear has to be free so you can hear like sirens and stuff for emergencies. But I'm like, dude, I'm super attentive to my surroundings anyway because I deal with traffic every single day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got pulled over and I had no idea how much the ticket cost.
Oh man.
And I was like an exit away. Like, dude, I was right there. I might as well just drove. I just drove and follow me. They can follow me home. So I can
right?
get home.
It's like a police escort. You're like Goldberg.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate that I get to fill your quota for the end of the month. So
yeah.
So that happened.
Yeah, there's some weird laws like that in Texas. It's like because they're going hands free, so like you can talk on the phone, right. You just can't hold it. Like, what?
Exactly.
It's like you can bake the cake, you just can't eat it. And you're like, okay, great. I'm glad this is going on.
Exactly.
That is really weird though. Like if they have a thing about headphones, just don't allow headphones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right? Like just why? Oh, you can only have 75% of the headphone in. And you're like, what? Like, what are these laws? That now they're just making stuff up. But as an interesting side note, if you see, as an interesting side note, if you see like every state has really dumb laws that has, started in like 1800 or something, so I think in Georgia, there's one where it's illegal to tie your giraffe to a telephone pole. And it's like that's an actual law. If you read like in the Georgia law, and you're like,
oh, of course. Supposed to tie up my giraffe.
Yeah, it's like this is the only telephone pole within miles. I have a very angry giraffe.
She's gonna have a giraffe over there. I don't know what to tell you.
I could probably tie it to a skyscraper or something. I'll figure it out.
In the state of Georgia, donkeys may not be kept in bathtubs. That is a fucking law. Like that is weird shit.
Wow.
Yeah. So that always makes you ask, like, what happened? Like, what happened to where a group of police officers are in like this bathtub with a donkey, and they're like, "We gotta fucking outlaw this because this is scandalous shit."
They're dealing with a lawless town where people are just riding in giraffes, like gunslinging and all that stuff. So,
thank God I don't work in a funeral home or a coroner's office. I'd be fired immediately.
illegal to use profanity in front of a dead body, they're not going to complain. I mean,
they might in the afterlife. We don't know.
Perhaps you get to the pearly gates and they're just the head nodding like,
Nope.
You remember that shit 25 years ago? No, sir. Yeah, there's one about like sharing people's cheeseburgers. I think that's in Florida. Like you can't take a bite out of somebody else's cheeseburger.
Florida is a silly shit.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the ones where someone had to make it up. Like, you know why I pulled you over? No, officer, I was doing everything fine. I saw you take a bite out of that guy's Big Mac. You better put that shit back. That is against the law. No, it's not. Like, yeah, it is. Ticket. Yeah, I will give you a I'll go talk to the city right now and they'll make it a law. You just broke it, sir. Good day.
Yeah. Jeez.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm a lawbreaker now.
That's right. Convicted felon Marco Flores. That's how I should have introduced you. And man running away from the law, nerd in the bay. Oh,
it's a city law.
Wow.
Wow.
In Atlanta, Jesus.
Yep, Atlanta.
That's it.
But that's so crazy, right? But they're all out there. Every state has some.
Yeah,
and you're like,
we got to look for them.
That's the history they don't put in the history books. You know?
Yeah.
Because you're learning all about the Civil War, and you're learning about here's the Million Man March and all this stuff. Tell me about the giraffe and the light pole thing. Like, put that in the Georgia history class. Like, why is that one in there? Oh, but yeah. So I think we actually have a few genuine topics this week because we were talking about it on Leo Twitter. Yeah. And one of them we'll kind of get out of the way real quick because it's something interesting, and I think we've talked about it somewhat before. If not on Brothering Around, then on the Nitro Beard podcast, like years and years ago. And, we're all fans of like competitive games, whether it's like esports games or, just Street Fighter or things like that. But what comes with competitive games, and especially, I guess any game really with a lot of online functionality is patches,
and
right?
Community,
they're going to have patches, and it's going to be sometimes balance patches. Sometimes the patches just fix shit. Like, oh, sorry, the cars disappear in your racing game. Let me fix that real quick. Yeah. Or it's like, hey, we're nerfing this character or we're buffing this character. And it's a weird thing because you have two sides of the coin. You have the people that play it religiously that are like, oh my God, this person's so broken. This character's so broken. We have to do something about it. They're very vocal and they want the publisher and the developer of the game to like get on it and like fix it, But then you have some old school cats. And I think I'm one of these people. I think, Marco, you are too. And I'd like to hear Todd and Moriarty's thought on this.
Yeah.
Learn how to play the fucking game. Like, we don't need to nerf and buff.
That's literally where I'm coming from.
Like, you don't got to constantly tamper with like how strong is somebody's kick in Street Fighter. It's like, just learn not to get kicked. Like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like, right. It's a different mentality for sure. But I mean, I come from like the StarCraft background. They didn't do a patch for StarCraft Brood War for like 16 years, right? They didn't touch that game for 16 years. And you want to know what happened? The whole community got amazingly good at the game. They found every weird pathfinding AI thing. They found every like weird glitch that could happen, and depending on what map you're on. But then that became part of the game. Because it's like, oh, everyone knows about this glitch, so let's see how good you can compete against somebody with that other obstacle in the way.
Yeah.
And it made amazing like television, and Korea was a big deal, and I mean, you know what I'm saying? It was the way that game was played. It just became part of the experience.
I mean, it's the whole philosophy of get good scrub. I mean, that's basically what it is.
Pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much, right?
So like, how is it happening in Street Fighter right now? Because I think that's what.
So this thing actually stemmed from Dragon Ball Fighters, because there's like a lot of media being put on it, right? Like, because there were some people, like, big YouTubers are able to, well, actually they chose with their own money to fly down to wherever studio, I think it's based in California, that they can play Dragon Ball Fighters and just check out what they can do and what they cannot. And some people have put out like the move list for these characters, and they're all basically, from what I understand, all the characters' special moves are usually, or majority of them are fireball motions, like quarter circle, forward or whatever. So, like, and this is like last week where this uproar happens, where I guess the anime, or no, not the anime community, the Dragon Ball fan community is up in arms on like, why is this move so difficult in a sense?
Oh shit!
When it's just a fireball motion, and that's where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, the Dragon Ball fan community is like, why is it so complicated to do the moveset? Well, motherfucker, it's a fighting game. You're trying to beat the other person, right? So I guess where they're coming from is that they just want to do the moves and do the moves like with no problems, no issues.
Yeah.
Well, like, okay, well, that's fine and all, but then again, where's the skill in that at the same time?
Sure. Where's the depth?
Where's the depth? So like, as you were saying, I'm from that old school mentality where in the 80s and 90s, where motherfucker, you need to learn the game so you can be better at it.
Sure.
Right? The game won't cater to you. You had to get better at the game, right? Like, so learning mechanics, learning nuances, learning strategies, and like loopholes and such.
Yeah.
So that whole thing was like an uproar. I'm like, dude, like, and I think about like how gaming is moving forward from like the 2000s and such, and it just became, people are just more and more like vocal about like how the game needs to cater to me rather than like, people need to learn about like that, whatever that specific
adapt
game.
to the game, right? I see.
Adapt to the game, learn how to do the commands and stuff. Because I was reading like Twitter responses and stuff, and they're saying like, no matter what I do, I can't learn the fireball motion. I tried so many times, and I learned different games, and I just can't do it. I was like, well, dude, it's muscle repetition. Like, if you can do a 10 out of 10 in practice, and you can do 10 out of 10 in arcade, and if you can do 10 out of 10 in versus mode, then you can do it. You're not just going to throw it like 5 times out of like 35 and think that you got it down and know the application and all that stuff.
I like how like defeated they are about it. Like, I've tried everything. Yeah. Well, did you try doing the move right? Did you try actually doing it?
Try?
Yeah. I would love to see some of these people try to play some of the Darkstalker games and how fucking intricate certain moves were. Like, and I'm not even talking about like the EX moves. I'm talking about just some of the regular special moves. Like,
exactly,
it's like it's not like goddamn
special moves. And yeah, you're right, Todd. Darkstalkers pretty much introduced EX moves to the fold, because they had the regular fireball move, and then if you do like 2 buttons, you get like a bigger fireball or like something with special properties and such. Mm-hmm. So like, dude, I know, I do. I'm really looking forward to Dragon Ball Fighters, but this community, the fighting game community, I think of it as easy money for the fighting game community once tournaments happen, because you're gonna have all these anime Dragon Ball community fans that come in and like, oh, let me try. I can beat my friends in these games, and like I'm the king there, so I'm gonna try this. This regional tournament where all these big names are gonna show up, and then you're gonna do 0-2, and then you're done, and you're out of there.
Yeah.
So like,
this is legitimately why I hate that there's no arcades anymore.
Exactly.
Oh, because can you imagine how much money you could make?
Holy absolutely.
Shit. You just lick your chops. You just wait there, and they're like, "What button do I hit?" And you're like, "Oh, it's time now." Come on, big fella.
Well,
you see the movie kid. You look like a peeled orange.
See, the thing is, like a game like the Dragon Ball Fighter. I mean, that would be a cabinet much like Tekken Tag was, much like Soul Calibur was, where you would have fucking lines.
Oh, sure.
And everybody be lining their quarters up on the machine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, you'd have one guy who's been there since the place opened up, just next.
Yeah.
And
Big
you're like,
brother, you know?
Yeah, just, God. There was one guy on for Soul Calibur. I mean, the arcade would open up at like 10 o'clock in the morning. It would close at 10 o'clock at night. He would be there the entire day on that machine.
That's his day job.
People just walking, just people walking up going, "Oh, you don't look like you're doing that well." You know, whatever. They go, "Oh, I'm going to challenge you." He goes, "All right, cool." Just
yeah. Just wants to get better at the game and better at the community.
Yeah, like I love the arcade kind of mentality and the mindset. The only thing where I started breaking away from the arcade is realizing that, like, you know, because for a while there, the arcade version was infinitely better than what you could play at your house. But then right around PS1 era, I'd say around Tekken 3-ish, things started becoming, you know, quote unquote arcade perfect, and you could start getting that kind of deal at home. Because I would drop way too much money into an arcade. Like, oh my God, I probably spent $1,600 on Tekken 3. You know what I mean? Like, that is the most collector's edition thing I would ever own, because I spent nearly $2,000 on my lifetime for freaking quarters of putting it in a Tekken 3 machine. Or you can buy it at home forever for $50. And then I was like, oh, okay. And I think that's kind of what started killing out arcades, to be honest. But yeah, that mentality, I mean, but what's great is that just guarantees we can all get the Dragon Ball Fighter game and then play online and have an awesome record. We could go like 39-2 because it's going to be the kids that are like, what do you mean? But something I thought about, especially maybe with the Dragon Ball, do you think that the Tenkaichi games have something to do with this? Because weren't the Tenkaichi games like, if you sneezed, you did a special move. Like, you didn't even have to touch the controller. Like, your character just turned on and you hit the start button and everything was like
combo sort of thing.
Yeah. You hit L1 and then he did a 47 hit combo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wonder if they're coming from that angle. Like, what do you mean I gotta hit buttons on the controller?
Right.
Like, they did the stuff automatic. It's like a screensaver. Like, they just turn it on and then shit happens and then they're done. Like, good. We had a great time today playing our game. But now they actually have to dig in and, you know, get into it.
Right. I think it actually goes back to the Budokai games because they were the same thing. It was like, you know, to do the combo punch, and then special fireball move. And it was just like one button, right? But I don't think they thought that Dragon Ball, at least Budokai and Budokai Tenkaichi, were considered like, you know, like arcade, like, you know, people putting quarters in sort of game. Yeah. They just thought it was like more of a casual game. Sure, you can just, you know, go up against other people, but it's like there's not much you can do other than like sidestep and, you know, just hit square like 7 times and then triangle, and
it's like a
sort of thing.
It's a model viewer. For like,
it's like a model viewer. Yeah,
it's like Poser or whatever, those 3D guru things that you download on your computer, and you're like, I'm gonna make Gohan, and then
you know how the kid is watching like say like Virtual Fighter or like Tekken, and you know they're showing like a demo fight, and they're fighting. The computers are fighting, but the kid thinks he's playing himself. Like, oh, I'm doing all those moves. Also, they're just waggling on the joystick and, you know, smashing down the buttons. But like, dude, you got
every 1990s commercial ever. It's like, my whole family, we're gonna play Super Mario Brothers, and it's actually gonna be Duck Hunt, and like they have the one game in the system, but another game's on the screen. Like, that's the reality that they're coming from.
Or you disconnect the second controller, so your younger sibling can start playing.
See, that's a pro move right there.
The tricks.
That's a pro move.
But I was thinking about the other side you were talking about, like nerfing and patching and buffing and all that stuff in terms of like the multiplayer, like maybe MMO sense.
Yeah.
And so from what you're saying, you sound like you want to keep things like just the same. If it was just there, just keep it the same.
Yeah, I mean, unless it unless it completely unless it's legitimately broken in regards to, imagine if Zangief's, 720 or how many times does he spin? Like the pile driver move. Imagine if that came out of the gate doing like 400% damage. So all you had to do was that one move and then you won the match. Like, get rid of that shit. But no, if someone's like, the funniest type of games to go like look at the forums are any of the Blizzard games. Because, any matchmaking deal, and this is the same way with Street Fighter, they build it so you have a 50% win rate. You win half of them and you lose half of them. Over a long enough period of time, it's going to find out what your real skill level is. Like, you got to play probably 50 matches. And then it's going to kind of find out where you're at. The same thing for like League of Legends, Dota, Counter-Strike. Like, they figured this out a little bit. Like, okay, we're going to put you where we think you're going to be after, let's say, 50 matches. But people after 3 matches, I've never won against so-and-so, so they need to be nerfed. And it's like, bitch, play the game. Like, you got to play it to learn how to do it.
Exactly.
You got to, like, and a lot of people, and it's funny if you go on the internet, like, forums and stuff, especially with things like StarCraft and probably even Street Fighter, you can tell what level someone is depending on what they're bitching about.
Oh, because, totally.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, Vega comes at me diagonally. That's so broken. And you're like,
he has claws. Why does he have claws?
His reach of the claws. I don't get a claw. So
why can he climb the cage?
Yeah, exactly. You'll hear people say that shit. And you're like, okay, this person's clearly a beginner. And once they figure out how to counter Vega, then their next thing's going to be, oh my God, M. Bison is such a bitch. And then after M. Bison...
He's such a Nazi.
Yeah, and then after M. Bison, you get, Akuma, or you start seeing where someone's at depending on the problems that they're running into. It's funny because this draws back to like, my wife teaches mathematics, and you talk to someone who's like a genius at math, and the thing that they'll tell you is everybody's bad at math. Everybody. Math is a weird thing. Everyone's bad at it. The good people at math just do their mistake later on in the problem.
Right.
Like, they don't mess up, the positive and negative sign, or they know what, 5 plus 5 is. But then you start getting into, like, fucking quantum mechanics. They're going to start having issues. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they're on such a different level. And I think that's the same thing with competitive games. Because, like, hell, we played Destiny yesterday on the stream. We played Destiny 2, and I actually wanted to play some competitive. I was like, let's do it. YOLO, right? Like, fuck it, let's do it. And I'm terrible at competitive games, but that's part of the fun. And so I knew I was going to be bad. I knew it. I wasn't going to be like, I can't believe it. I came in last place. This game's clearly broken. Game. Yeah, they should just nerf everything. Like, who am I to say? You know, it's like, it'd like be walking into a building and then acting like an architect. Like, they shouldn't have built this building this way. And then the guy who builds it's like, what the fuck does this guy know? Like, no, we went through a process. Like, there were committees. Like, this was a full thing. Like, and then someone just comes off the street and they're like, I'm gonna act like a professional. Yeah.
This pillar here shouldn't be here. It doesn't look right.
I'm gonna knock it down.
The building comes down.
Yes, exactly. Because to the untrained eye, but it's really about finding that game that you like enough to stick with the bullshit. Like,
if you're willing to like deal with the losses of that game.
Yeah, it's all about learning.
That's all good. So with you saying with the patches and all that stuff, I tend to be on the other side in terms of like, how things should just stay like that way for a good while. I agree to a point. Every year patching, like massive patching, I don't agree with, because like nobody has time to learn their character and the matchups with like whatever, like, either fighting games or like, Dota sort of thing, or StarCraft, or even MMOs. Like, nobody knows, their design of what, they wanted to be. So, I either believe like 5 years or maybe 10-year patching, 5 to 10 years patching. 5 years is probably like right there, right in the sweet spot. Just so people have enough time to like know their stuff and maybe how to counter everybody else's. And then once everybody's kind of set in their ways, then like 52 pickup, you throw all the cards all over the place.
see what
have to
happens.
relearn again. Like, oh, what happened? So some people, some classes, some whatever will have good seasons. Others will have bad seasons, and then the devs will see that and it's like, okay, well, let's buff up the people that are not doing so great, and then it I guess it gives the game like not like longevity, but like there's just it's alive, because they have to be on their toes of like thinking, okay, what needs to be, what do I need to know, what can I do, and that sort of thing. But
it's like an evolving thing, and that brings up a good point too, of like there's a weird sense of I don't know, there's a weird sense of community growing around the metagame, right? And I don't know if that's healthy for a game or not. So what I mean is like, and what you'll see a lot on is like Hearthstone, that Blizzard card game. I don't play it a whole lot.
Oh yeah.
But apparently every season, they change up the decks, they change up the cards, and then you start getting into the stuff to where you're only allowed to play this one way. If you want to be good, you got to play combat rogue.
You got to follow the guides.
Oh, you're not playing as Dhalsim. You're an idiot. Like Dhalsim's the only good character in the game. Because they're taking advantage of those things that need to be nerfed or need to be buffed or whatever. In that mentality, everyone just learns to adapt. Oh, that's the best. Like the thing that it completely strips any choice out of the game. Like, it's no longer up to what do you like to play. It's, are you playing this the right way? And I think once you get down that line, you're done. Like, that game is kind of dead in the water. You got to reevaluate. Because, and the one way I always look at it is, imagine if we were that way with, like, art. Like, paintings. If someone was just like, well, here's the one painting. Get rid of every other painting on Earth. This is the best one. Like, so you go to a museum now, and it's just one painting. And it's the one painting everywhere. If you want art, if you want painting, here it is. That's the one. Look at it. Isn't it great? Like, you're not giving people choice. You don't get that expression. You don't get that self that you invest in. And that's the whole point of competitive games, is you kind of get connected that way. But yeah, so like, oh, you want to learn an instrument? Only the piano. There are no other instruments. The piano is the best instrument. Every other instrument's not allowed ever. Like every kid just knows how to play piano. The end. And you only know one song because it's the best song. So you just you get your piano, you learn one song, and then you're done. Nothing else.
You want to learn guitar? Play Rock Band. Just Rock Band. Not rock.
You have one option. And that just seems insane to me. Oh, are you hungry for food? Well, eat these mashed potatoes, because mashed potatoes is the only food that exists on the planet Earth. Here. Here's it. Yeah, oh, you're hungry again? Here's some more mashed potato. Like, no. What the fuck? Like, it just seems so outrageous if you put it into another context. So it's like, why have 35 fighters in Street Fighter if quote unquote 2 were good? Then just have it be like dive kick, where you have two. You have fucking two. You know what I mean? You have one dive move.
So good though.
See, but there is beauty in it. But if that's the goal,
there's level of games as well, like level of fighting games as well. Like at least it's been introduced more so lately with games like dive kick, games that once were like Rising Thunder, where it was just one button specials. It was kind of like an introduction to like fighting games. So like if say you're new to it and you want to delve into more, then that's when you can get into the other ones, like, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, unless you're anime, your Guilty Gear and all that stuff. But yeah, just there's different levels to getting into like the fighting game genre. Is just knowing that if you're going to get into like, Street Fighter, you're going to get your ass beat and you got to be okay with that.
Yeah, sure. Got to learn.
See, and the thing is I even go as far as saying, you got, you have your basic like one button special games down at the bottom. Then you got like some other stuff. Then you got Street Fighter, and then you get into the SNK stuff, and it's just like that's a whole different beast
with those commands. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I think there's a weird thing happening right now, and I say right now, it's been happening in the past decade, but it seems like this really started more and more whenever Super Smash Brothers took off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Smash did this weird bridging thing to where it kind of brought the people that were used to the one button Rising Thunder dive kick style, esque games were the introductory stuff.
Yeah, like you're up A, you're standing A, you're down A.
Yeah, so it got people introduced to the idea of what could be done with fighting games, but it never went too much further than that. And then it got caught in this limbo to where, okay, it's a party game. And then people will yell at you, no, it's way more complicated than a party game.
It's a fighting game.
It's so in-depth. It's so in-depth. And then you talk about, okay, well, where are the mechanics for a fighting game? Oh, don't be silly. It's not a fighting game. It's just a party game. What are you doing? Like, those same exact people will just turn on it.
Did you assume my gender?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it turns into that. It's like, how dare you? You said that, how dare you think that this is like Street Fighter? It's nothing like Street Fighter. It's way easier.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, so which one is it? Like, you gotta, I think there's that weird middle ground, and it can be its own thing, and that's fine. But then whenever you want everything else to cater to that Super Smash Brothers style of, I want to hit one button and then magic happens. Don't know what to tell you, man. Like, you might be better off just playing something that you already know.
And there's a trade-off to it as well. Like, we see it with Evo. Like, people do watch Street Fighter, and it's known. Like, and now they aired on ESPN and all that stuff. But there have been, ever since streaming has been in the picture, there have been more viewers for Smash Brothers than there have been for any top fighting game that's been out, in the recent years. So like Smash is doing something right where, the casualness, everybody can get into it.
People can relate. Yeah.
People can relate, but the trade-off is like, where's the depth? But at the same time, games like any other games, like, okay, if there's even a fireball motion, like, oh, it's too hard. So like, you get a little bit of a cutoff because there's a learning curve there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to say that's even kind of what you're seeing with Rocket League. Because, you know what I mean? Like, Rocket League is it's soccer. It's soccer with, you drive a little car and you hit the soccer ball. You're done. Like, I remember being so excited when Rocket League first came out because I was like, in my opinion, man, this is the future of esports. And the reason why is my grandma can watch this and get into it.
And get into it. Exactly.
Because she'll understand it. She doesn't have to know what a back cancel with a blah, blah, like, that's not a thing that has to happen. It's like, here's a car. You hit this button to go faster with turbo, and then you try to hit that ball into that goal. You're done.
There you go.
That's it. That's the entire game. You just set it in like a note card. But there's something to that because now it really is about the skill of using the very limited features of what the game gives you in order to make like really interesting things happen. But with, with a game like Street Fighter or a series like, Capcom versus SNK or like Mark of the Wolves, you have, it's the intricate knowledge of knowing how difficult something is to do. It's like, it's the same thing for me. Excuse me. It's the same thing for me as like watching a guitar player who's super good. I'm like, oh my God, that took that guy years to be able to pull that shit off because that is not easy. You're not going to learn that in like a guitar center with your instructor teaching you chords. Like you're not, that's on a different level. You listen to like Steve Vai and shit and you're like, okay, this guy is on a different planet because you're not supposed to be able to do those type of things with an electric guitar. It's the same thing with that really famous Daigo, the third strike
Evo moment.
Yeah, that Evo moment, the third strike, to where Ken just blocks every single kick that Chun-Li does. And then it looks impressive, and you're like, wow, he blocked it. That's really cool. And then he did his thing, and it was really dramatic. Yeah. But then someone breaks it to you. There's always one person that breaks it to you. It's like, no, you don't understand. He blocked every single one of her kicks manually.
Yeah.
And then you like, what? Like, it turns into the, like, your whole world starts flipping upside down. You're like, Jesus Christ. He blocked like 60 kicks in 10 seconds. Like, what kind of machine is this guy? There's always that moment, and I always love seeing it on people's face because they see it first and they're like, oh, that's really cool, that guy made a comeback. And then you tell them how difficult that is to do, and they're like, oh wow, okay, like that guy's not a real human being.
Right.
It's an interesting deal.
It is.
Yeah, so because whenever you brought it up, I was like, yeah, we could talk about that because I was dabbling in StarCraft Remastered, and I'm like, I'm so bad at this game, but that's part of the fun. It's like I got to learn how to click on the units. Oh, you got to click them over here, and that one died. Like, it's just a fun deal. But
yeah, how to auto group and all that stuff.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing. I don't know if I've gotten there yet, because I haven't been.
I still don't know how to auto group.
I haven't been able to auto group any of my. I think I have to like select them one at a time, and
like
then
highlight, like do the mouse all of them.
Do the box, box over Command and Conquer style. Just be like, whoop, and then just click, go this way, attack, move.
There you go.
You know, so bizarre.
Crazy, right, Moriarty?
Totally.
Yeah.
Contribution. Yeah.
So on the news of adapting and getting good, Moriarty, you are going to PAX.
Yes, I am.
So you're going to be part of the. You're gonna sneak in, get part of that hive mind, kind of get in the collective. You're adapting.
Yes.
What's your plan for PAX? Like, what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go? What things are you looking forward to?
I don't really have a plan other than being with at least one person at all times, so I don't freak out.
Smart. Yes.
Yes. You know? I have a lot of people that are excited to meet me, and I'm excited to meet them. Cool. Food plans, kind of. I'm gonna be staying with a couple streamer friends of mine, as Call Me Giant and Zonky Art, boyfriend girlfriend up in Canada, that are driving down to Seattle. They're actually driving now to get to Seattle. Let's see here. There's a partnered streamer by the name of W Great who is looking forward to meeting me as well. The guys from stackup.org will be there, and I'm super stoked to meet them in the flesh. Yeah. Really excited. Another streamer friend, Riftblade's going to be there as well. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's going to be so much.
Yeah, it's going to be overwhelming. So I saw that StackUp had like patches. They made like physical, so they look pretty slick.
Yes, they do.
So yeah, if you guys are at PAX, pick up some stackup.org patches. They look really good. Like I saw them and they showed one to the camera and I was like, holy crap, that just screams like 80s denim. You know what I mean? Just put it on back of like the Freebird jacket. Like, yeah.
There you go.
Just rad.
Patches I don't know if because at the other PAXs, StackUp will have a booth. Generally at PAX West we don't. For some odd reason, to the best of my knowledge. Huh.
So is there going to be like live streaming happening from the booth?
I don't know. I really don't know what the whole StackUp plan's going to be.
Vendors like to do that. Like they'll be like, hey, we're a set of streamers and we're going to set up a booth here. That way you can stream on our channel. I mean, that because you see that a lot with like graphics cards and like, oh, the GeForce booth. You know, who are these?
Oh my god, there's so many booths this year. It is crazy.
What is it? As for StackUp not having a booth per se at PAX West, that might have to do with every other PAX is basically confined to one building.
Right.
So I mean, there's that, and also renting getting the net speed or whatever to stream. It's so fucking difficult to get.
Yeah, I do know that there will be like some streamers will be streaming from PAX, but as far as I know, nobody from StackUp has any plans for that, to the best of my knowledge.
Gotcha. So, see what PAX needs to do, because I thought since PAX really started as a thing, I think that it's kind of taken over where E3 sort of dropped off. It brought the people back into the fold. It was more about the passion of the games instead of a bunch of press conferences. Like it was about the culture of being a fan of video games and sharing that love with other people. The one thing I want PAX to do that E3 used to do back in the day is Kensha Hall. Now, let me tell you guys what Kensha Hall was. Kensha Hall during E3 was where like the D tier stuff went. It was the
obscure ass games.
Yeah, it was the forgotten children of E3.
Yeah.
So, like, fun fact, Guitar Hero was in Kensha Hall because they're like, oh, Guitar Hero, what the fuck is it? Like, you got a little plastic Play School Fisher Price toy? Like, go over there to Kensha Hall. What are you doing? Like, they had no idea, right? But you would see the funniest stuff at Kensha Hall. And it was these third parties that had some crazy cockamamie idea. And they were like, you know what? Here's a controller you wear on your face. And you use the foot pedals. And then you tap on a garbage can. And then it makes it say hello in the video game. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, and like, I always felt so bad because Mad Catz was always put there. Because they always had their janky, like, here, get a Dallas Cowboys controller. And you're like, oh boy. But that's what we need to see happen is PAX needs to bring about like those weird like carnies that are like, video games, you say? Well, I got a thing for a video game. Like, just some guy with a jacket, and he's like, yeah, like I know all about video
Malibu
games.
Al. You want Malibu Al?
Malibu Al. He's like, you know what? If
you don't want any video games, you want yourself a station wagon.
Yeah, let me get you in there. What, you don't have a family yet? With this backseat, you will. You'll make a family in this backseat.
Trust me.
And he had AJ had those giant like Tom Cruise hands from Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah, it was kind of crazy because it took me a minute to realize that was AJ.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, I paused. I was like, who is that? It kind of looks like, is that AJ? I think that is AJ. What the heck?
And big ups. Did you guys watch Raw by chance? They brought
last week, this past Monday.
Yeah, this past Monday. So they were in Nashville.
I didn't see it, but yeah, I think they introduced a Southpaw regional.
They did. I saw that clip,
and it was fantastic. I yelled at the TV. I was like, "This is perfect!" And like my wife was like, "What the?" I was like, "Yeah, impressive, Pelvis Wesley." And then he comes out and fucking Heath Slater like jigging around, and I was like, "This is the best thing I've ever seen."
How long do you think before they repackage the Ascension?
They should make that the gimmick. Like, they should genuinely make it a gimmick to where every single week they come out of something else.
Oh God,
that's hilarious. And then like,
and that works for Breezango with the whole, Fashion Police.
Yeah, the Fashion Police stuff. And here's the thing. I think the thing that really kind of cemented, and it sounds weird to say, but really cemented, the whole Team Hell No, was all the antics backstage. It was all the stuff like, you know what I mean? Because you go to the anger management courses, like put the Ascension in anger management courses. It's like, why do you want to dress like a demon? Like have like a counselor like talk to him and they're like, I don't know, man, it seems cool. Well, why does it seem cool? Like, and then they have to come out and like reinvent themselves. Oh yeah, just give them something to do. Because through Southpaw, those guys are genius.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think all of WWE should just be Southpaw. Like, I think that's what it should turn into.
I want to see like not so much. I back then I did say I wanted to see an invasion, but now, as of right now, I kind of want to see like guest appearances. Like Lance Catamaran shows up from out of nowhere for one Raw and does commentary.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. See, what I've actually started doing
and plays it straight.
What I've actually started doing is I'm becoming more and more, and I've always loved him, but I'm more and more of a Tex Ferguson fan.
Oh my God.
So something that I've done, like in real life, I'll do that, is I'll be like, what am I gonna do? Like, I start saying it like that in my head about like, oh no. It just makes me laugh like
the softly, brother.
Softly, brother, what am I gonna do?
I knew you sent Freddie Blassie with his sharpened teeth to bite out my eye.
I can hear Chad Too Bad in my ear. It sounds like he is right next to me. I'm sorry, guys. We got to redo the promo. It's not coming out well.
I would highly recommend looking up, if you haven't already, Luke Gallows doing the original character, Sex Ferguson.
Yeah.
Oh God. God, I need to see this.
Oh, you do. And not only that, you need to hear them do the Stone Cold Steve Austin impressions. Because they are fucking stellar at it. Oh my God. Like they kick into it immediately. And you're like, and they do like Howard Finkel. They do all kinds. They are incredible. Like I wish they were allowed to do that every single week. Because they said they'd never had the balls to do Stone Cold's impression in front of Stone Cold. But like Stone Cold knows about it. So as they like walk by and they don't want to disturb Stone Cold, he's like, "What? You just gonna walk on by?" Like, and then they like, "Sorry, sir."
But listen to the Talk Is Jericho podcast when it's Talking Shop with Lou Gallows and Carl Anderson. You'll hear a lot of stuff from that. Hilarious.
And then someone else who does the best impressions is Jay Lethal. He is so on point. Like I still love his which one was it? He does Ric Flair perfect. He also does Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy Hart. I didn't ever heard of him.
Come on, baby, get it going, baby. Like he mouth of the South stuff. Oh, it makes me laugh every time. He also does a really good Iron Sheik. But I love people who can do a good Iron Sheik because only Iron Sheik is Iron Sheik, right?
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, Bubba!" Like he just screams stuff. He's like, "I break your back and make you humble."
Yeah. Dude.
And then what we just got to get us a. Can anyone do a good Virgil impression? See, that's what we need. We need a Virgil. Yeah, that's true. We'll just like be in the background and ask for money.
Be in the background, be quiet. Yeah,
I'll sign your paper for $10.
Hey, why don't you come over here? Let me take a picture with you. That'd be $35.
Yeah, give me some Olive Garden meat sauce.
Like it's
that fuck money.
Fuck money.
When it comes down, he's like the true carny of it.
Oh God,
because it's like
man.
He won't even like be like, "Oh yeah, picture's gonna be this much or whatever." I mean, he'll be like, "Yeah, you want a picture? I'll take a picture with you. You know, I got the $1 million title here. You can take a picture with blah blah blah, that kind of stuff." You take the picture. The second that picture, that camera snaps, that'll be $45. And you're like, "Fucking what?"
and he's reaching out to your back pocket for your wallet.
He's already got it. He's already got it. He's pulling the bills out. You know,
he's already swiping the card. Like,
I didn't.
When did you do that?
Yeah.
And I just love it that he does meet and greet with the fans at Olive Garden. Like you just show up at a weird Olive Garden and he's like sitting there eating breadsticks.
Moriartea, if you see Virgil there, you gotta. Well, no.
If you see Virgil,
I don't want you to pay money to take a picture with Virgil.
Yeah.
Maybe that creepy like from afar picture. So
it's slightly blurry. It has digital zoom, so it's like slightly not quite in focus. That's what we recommend.
Clearly, you've seen my photos before.
I mean, there was I know in your Discord, I dropped a bunch of Virgil pics at one point.
That's right. Because in those pictures, he met Matt from Super Best Friends, and in that same area, that same exact picture actually. So I saw those pictures as well. So
yeah, one of them he's set up a booth in a fucking Subway. Like
he's like, "Nice Bullet Club shirt. You want to take your picture with me?" No,
not all Virgil. Thank you.
I know there was a blog set up for a while called Lonely Virgil.
Oh yeah, where it was just him by himself at that table. Yeah, that's what started it. Makes $20. It so good. So good.
Oh man.
I just love all the stories about like wrestlers being true carnies. Like absolute like not paying for their breakfast tab, like running out and like screeching away in a DeVille. Yeah. You know, like one of those type of things to where it's all just, they're all comic book characters in a way. You're like, wait, people live like this? Like, this is still allowed on the planet Earth to do these things?
Right, in 2017? Dude.
Oh, man.
There you go.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So I just on our Discord, I just put the Stone Cold
Sam
impressions
Roberts
that they
show,
do.
right?
Yeah, oh, it's so good. And that's just little bits of it, but they are dead on. And they I just love, because I mean that's what really got me to be a huge Jay Lethal fan, was his impressions were just on another level. He had the mannerisms down, and that whole TNA, the whole bit. I know Marco and I have talked about it before. The whole like storyline of, you know, Jay Lethal is impersonating Ric Flair because he wants to be Ric Flair, and then Ric Flair finds it disrespectful, and like then Jay Lethal steals his Hall of Fame ring and like wears it out, and he's like, "I'm sorry, man. I just wanted to, you know, I wanted to be you just for a few minutes." And like Ric Flair like slaps him in the face and stuff. Oh, it's such a good angle. Yeah,
that's a good one right there.
Wrestling superstar. It's like, since when?
That's a big ass banner too.
I know. It's like,
where's he getting this money?
Wait, what an awesome! It's like he just set up a desk in the middle of the road.
I was about to question that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, the best part is he's also advertising Ted DiBiase.
He's clearly not there. Clearly not there.
So like you go up to that booth and you're like, "Hey, I want to take a picture with Ted DiBiase." And Virgil's like, "No, don't worry about that. You can take a picture with me."
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm here right now.
I'm here, man. Ted don't even want to be here, man. I'll take a picture with you.
Oh God, it's so sad.
That's a Subway booth. Wow.
And what's so great about it is Virgil actually doesn't give a shit. Like,
he does, he does.
You know what I mean?
I
like,
gotta respect that at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know what? You're on it, man. Good work.
Yeah.
You do you.
Right. He made
this one actually has a little extra to it.
He's photobombing
Savio Vega. Jeez.
Our pal on Twitter sent this in. Virgil is a big event signing in New York, Queens, New York, ruining people's photos. Yes, Savio Vega is significantly busier than Virgil. Virgil does, however, charge $15 for photobomb.
Oh my God.
That is
man. And what's so wild is every pro wrestler is like this to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Like the whole business. It's a business. It's a gimmick. It's the whole racket. So like, that's what's always so fascinating to me, is this makes money. I don't know how. I don't know how this entire industry has survived this long.
Right.
Because they do this shit. Like, it's so wild.
Dude.
And then you have the really meta stuff of the people that get stuff signed and then sell it on eBay as their full-time job.
Yeah.
You're like, well, how is that? You're a carny of a carny. Like, you're now trying to hustle these hustlers. Carny. Like, that's really weird. Oh God, with Sex Ferguson, wake up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. Jeez.
Oh, Cliff Compton. Oh, Domino. Domino Cliff.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh, hey Todd, are you reading up on Secret Empire?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
I've been trying to keep up with it, like the YouTube channel that kind of keeps everybody up to date on the story and shit, which I'm good with. But yeah, and I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and read.
Yeah, I mean, like I go through like comic book resources to find out what exactly happened and stuff.
Yeah,
so, yeah, like Wes, with me and you talking about how Captain America can be redeemed.
Yeah,
I mean, they did it. You know, they did it. Just the way they did it. I don't know. Do you care that I say a bit about it, Todd? Or
I don't care.
Okay, so yeah, like the whole thing about Captain America being a Nazi and doing all this Hydra stuff.
He's Hydra. I mean, it's not necessarily the same thing as being a Nazi. So
yeah, okay, yeah, he's being Hydra, right? He's being a Hydra, and Hydra's running America and stuff. He killed a few of his friends already, and people are in dire straits. And at this point, they are doing the counteroffensive, but Captain America is like Iron Manned up and also has the cosmic cube fragments in his armor, so like things are happening. Like he's almost becoming a god. But like, original Captain America comes back in, I guess, from like a dream state, because Kobik, that powerful ass little girl, kind of kept Captain America hidden away, and then like this alternate reality, like tempered version of Hydra Cap came into the fold. But yeah, like that's what they're talking about. Captain America pops back up, like red, white, and blue, and has a hammer and beats up Hydra Cap. And not that things are all well and good. Things are like still like the repercussions of what happened are there, because like now Cap has to deal with the fallout of everybody trusted regular ass Captain America, but now that this whole thing happened,
right?
You kind of have to win back the trust. And like, oh, geez, that's like a lot of work you got to do, Cap.
Yeah, that's true.
But
and I mean, that part of it's interesting. Like he has to kind of redeem himself for something he didn't even do. But the only thing is, and this is just a weird storytelling quirk, and I'm gonna throw Lost under the bus. The TV show Lost. So the first season of Lost, fantastic television. Holy shit. That is some top tier grade A dank TV. Like you watch it and it's just genius stuff. But then Lost introduced two things. Time travel.
Oh shit.
And people that are talking, that you're able to talk to ghosts. At that point, you're done. No matter what fucking shit you do on your show, you always have an oh shit card you can pull. Like, oh no, this isn't working. Let me make it to where they were actually dead the whole time.
Right.
Or, oh no, this isn't working. But this was in the past, and now we're gonna do a flash forward. Now it's in the future, and now everyone, it's exactly. So like nothing means anything. Like nothing has any gravitational weight anymore. So just based on what you're saying, I kind of get that vibe a little bit with the Captain America. It's like, oh, it was Captain America, but it wasn't really Captain America.
Yeah,
it was. You know what I mean? Like, and I was against the whole thing about Captain America being Hydra anyway. Like, one of the Brother Around episodes, like I was vehemently against it. I was like, I don't care if it's a gimmick. I just think it's bad taste. Like I might be, a mark or whatever, but I'm like, no. Like, you can do more interesting shit than that. Like, of course, let's make him a Hydra. Like, no, do something more interesting. Like, whenever I was reading Ultimate Spider-Man, and, Doc Ock is in the mind of Peter Parker.
Oh, my God, Superior Spider-Man.
Superior, you mean. Yeah.
Oh.
Like, that shit got crazy, because then... he's trying to make amends for stuff in Doc Ock in his past life and some of his personal demons. So there you're starting to get into some weighty stuff. You're like, oh yeah, this is like a personal, is he going to get over this? Is he going to grow as a person? Is he going to see the error of his ways? Or is it going to just fuel him to be even more evil? Like, what's going to happen? There's a consequence that's about to happen. But whenever you do the wash away of like, there's actually 9 Captain Americas. And this one... he can,
Well, I mean, arguably you had the multiverse. And I mean, then you had Battle World, and then we got this new continuity, Yeah. I mean, one of the alternate versions of Cap was Captain Hydra, basically. And when they introduced, that cube and blah. No, fucking weird.
So I think Todd's connection got a little iffy.
Yeah, my connection got really iffy.
There you
What
go.
were you saying?
Basically, like, I was happy as I was actually excited that we got Hydra Cap. I'm that weird person.
I did too. I like the little change because it was either go back to I don't have the serum anymore, or Cosmic Cube, or it was kind of like the same like tropes of usual Captain America stories.
I would have been happier if it wasn't because of the Cosmic Cube.
Yeah,
that we got Hydra Cap, because I mean, after Battle World and the whole fucking reforming of the Marvel universe, basically we got different. I mean, you had what? Peter Parker Spider-Man, you had Miles Morales Spider-Man, you had Spider-Gwen. I mean, you had multiple versions of essentially the same hero.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
yeah, that's what I do like about the multiverse thing. And if you ever read Secret Wars, Wes, it's actually pretty cool. Of the what do you call them again? Not the main story. The one-offs, like tie-in issues.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So
yeah.
like one universe is like Civil War, and like Civil War never stopped. So like they had like a warring state, and there was like this middle ground where like either Captain America or Iron Man had no control over, but like it became a super bigger thing than what it was before. And then you have another universe where Cap is like in gladiator gear with the shield and like some sort of like, I forgot, a mace or whatever, and he's riding like Devil Dinosaur around, and he's like looking for Hulks and such to hunt down. And then then you have Old Man Logan universe, and like either that Cap is dead or something happened, or it's like inbred Hulks sort of thing. And but yeah, you can definitely tell some interesting stories with the multiverse thing. And there's kind of like cool possibilities of what Cap would have became if they say like that universe was this universe that we're reading at. But yeah, it was an interesting road to take from like Hail Hydra, that with that scene, to where it is now with the end of Secret Empire finishing up. But I think for me, I feel like they're gonna try to do their take on like DC Rebirth, because Rebirth is doing really good for DC right now, with like just bringing back like throwbacks of characters, or like introducing new things, or old things in new ways, sort of thing. So
yeah,
I
what
think
is it?
Marvel's going to do the same with
Legacy line or something
in Generations. Yeah. So yeah. So we got a little bit of everything in this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I need to dig in more. I still have oh god, I can't remember the name of that.
You were still reading Superior, and then I think you were on Mighty
Thor. No, yeah, I think so. Or
okay.
It was one of the Thor books, the one where he's the god,
God Butcher.
God Butcher, yeah. And that shit was getting dope. I can't even remember what the last thing was, but it's fun because it's almost like Thor's a detective. Yeah. So he has to go to all these different places and be like, what happened here? And I was like, okay, this is a neat side of Thor, that, the analytical sort of, and the storytelling, like the actual verbiage and things like that, it's actually really good. It's really well written.
If you look back, or if you're thinking of like getting back in and like more current stories, I've been hearing like a lot of good things about Jean Grey, the Resurrection line, the Jean Grey solo book. Just because, in her setting, like, she's the time displaced Jean Grey, and she knows what her fate is if the Phoenix comes for her. So she's kind of trying to go out, like trying to find her way without being in the same fate. So like she's having adventures with like Doctor Strange, and I believe like had like a tag team thing with Thor. So like she's making like telekinetic hammers and such, and then you get the same thing with same thing, time displaced Beast, where he knows he's going to get furry, but he wants to go a different way, so he's trying to learn like magic with Doctor Strange, sort of thing. Like kind of different takes on the old time displaced heroes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jean Grey I heard was good, and then what else? I heard X-Men Blue was good. Trying to think of something else.
See, I've always liked the gimmick, the storytelling gimmick of, and I think Shakespeare like invented it, but to where you relook at specific scenes of things that you might be familiar with, but with more information through a different character's eyes. Like,
Right.
I can't remember which one it is, but like the two characters that I think of is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. And basically, another good example for like to tie it into video games. You guys remember that Godfather video game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were the guy that put the horse head on the bed. And you were the guy, you know what I mean? Like almost like the Forrest Gump. Like you were always everywhere doing the things. So whenever comics do that, like a comic series that did that really well was Planetary. And
you mentioned that.
Yeah, dude, love Planetary. Like if you haven't read it, it's 4 volumes and it's genius. But it is one of those that deals with time travel, but does it in such a way. It does it in a clever way that doesn't like take you out of it. That's like, oh, well, that's kind of a cop out. They actually use it to add more drama instead of like, oh, this just solved everyone's problems. It actually causes more issues. So it does it in the way that you know, like Time Splitters would do it to where you like hand a key to yourself, but you wonder, or like Heroes, I guess the TV show. Whenever in that first season, whenever what was his name, Hiro Nakamura? When he's on the train, like I love that scene because that just completely flips the whole script to everything. It's like, you know, what's his face, main duder, I guess his name's Peter in the show. He's on the train, and then the train stops, and everyone's frozen in place. And then Hiro, who's this character that's just a huge dweeb that we know, has like a big giant trench coat with a samurai sword on his back, and he comes up and he's like, "Yeah, my name's Hiro Nakamura, and I'm here to rescue you." Yeah. And you're like, "The fuck is going on here?" Like those like story seeds that like plant like that. Like I'm a big fan of those.
Yeah, totally.
And like with the tie-in issues, that's where they get to play around with that type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and you see it all the time in like really good TV. Like Breaking Bad did it quite a bit, and then Battlestar, but it's a good gimmick. That's a good way to go because it allows you some wiggle room. So in that regards, it works really well. But then on the flip side, like, yeah, I still don't. Maybe I need to read the whole Captain America arc now that it's about to end, just to see what I like really feel about it. Just because it feels a little, I don't know, it feels a little greasy. You know, it feels a little like, it feels like they could have done it maybe a little better. But
in retrospect, you can definitely do see that. But I think if you're like in the journey, like, it was a cool journey. Yeah, I guess in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it got people talking. I mean,
it did.
Brought a lot of eyes to comic books. Like, maybe the wrong type of attention. Yeah, maybe the wrong attention, but it brought attention. So, I mean, what is it? Eric?
People say not my Captain America. Like,
Eric Bischoff was like, you know, controversy creates cash. He's not wrong.
Right? Exactly.
But yeah, I think that may do it. We're at the magic hour and 15-minute mark. Oh, it seems like we always like on the money. We're always right there. That's crazy.
Money, 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 money.
That's right. That meat sauce money. That's what it is.
That popcorn money that Moriartea got.
Oh yes.
Well, yeah. Well, so what type of popcorn?
It's just plain buttered popcorn.
See, and that's good because the kids these days, they start putting all this other shit on it, and you're like, at this point, you're eating like a salad made of popcorn.
Let me hit my checklist. Video games check, comics check, wrestling check, old madness check.
Yep,
we hit them all.
And food. Yeah, I mean, this is a classic, a quintessential Brothering Around episode.
Yeah.
Everything you know and love about it is all jam-packed into an hour and 15 minutes.
We didn't even bother the fact that you're dealing with a hurricane right now.
Yeah.
Good old Harvey, man. Jesus.
Steve Harvey.
Yeah, Steve Harvey. If you wouldn't have gotten the name of that girl wrong, we wouldn't have been in this mess.
I know, right?
Oh, man. There's probably a special seat in hell for me for saying that. But, anyways, that's our time, guys. It's been episode number 30. What was it? 35?
35.
Of Brothering Around. I was always and will forever be Wes Gardner. And for Marco Flores, for Todd EVF, and for Moriartea Time, we will see you all next week. Continue to be good brothers and sisters. We'll see you soon. Peace.